Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this 2025 energy update and reading. If you don't know me, my name is Ona. I'm a visionary artist and metaphysical minister, and I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of some of the downloads I've been getting around 2025, some of the messaging to hopefully help us all to really make the most of this amazing year. All right, so we're going to cover some of the things I'm feeling are energetically happening just collectively on the planet. I'm going to share a message from my Akashic guides about 2025. And also, I'm going to do a little reading to support us, body, mind, and soul, through this year. Okay, so first thing I want to hit is that this is a really momentous year. Okay, so far since 2012, we've had this kind of upwelling of energy. It's been getting more and more and more intense. And what I'm feeling is that that's really leading up into a huge breakthrough that we are at the cusp of, or actually entering right now. And it is. I honestly don't think we're going to really recognize the world, in just 5 years. Things are going to change really, really fast. What I feel has been happening for the past, 12 years or so is that there's been a lot of kind of jockeying for position amongst different energetic factions. And I feel like all that visualizing and all that kind of spiritual and mental activity has come to the point now where we're really going to start to see it manifest very, very quickly into physical reality. All right. And good or bad, I guess it can have both positive and negative, right? We have to remember that on this plane, on this earthly plane, it's always a mix of light and dark. All right. So I guess the first thing that I really want to put forward here is that anytime there's big change, it's gonna trigger our animal selves, our little animal brains that don't like change, right? We like things to be predictable and constant. It's going to trigger that. And I'm feeling like we are headed into the most intense period of change that maybe the world has ever seen, or at least since maybe the fall of Atlantis, right? Things are really going to accelerate very, very, very rapidly, okay? AI is a huge player in this. All right. Um, Things are already just crazy different than they were even just a year ago when it comes to AI and its capabilities. We're going to see that accelerate, right? And that's going to have all sorts of ramifications with, the workforce, right? The economy, and even the idea of the consciousness and kind of changing our whole idea of consciousness. So lots and lots of change that may trigger a lot of people, especially people who are really not aware of the whole spiritual realm, right? And there may be a lot of displacement. There may be a lot of just confusion, chaos. Along with that, there may be a lot of blame, pointing fingers, and all this discomfort that we're feeling. It's got to be somebody's fault, right? So just things to be aware of that could be in the kind of general gestalt of what we're likely to see in 2025. But I am really encouraging all of us who are on the awakening path to just really keep in mind that this is an evolutionary process that we're in, and that we are key players in it, all of us, every single human being on the earth. But especially if you're aware of the spiritual process, it makes you a key player, right? Because a big part of the work here is to be aware of what's going on and to discern, right, what might be a distraction and where the light is, where we need to really focus our attention, okay? Um, So, with that said, I do want to share what my Akashic guidance said. When I asked about if there's a message for me to share with the collective at this time regarding 2025, they gave me a couple of colors. They gave me the bright white, right? This beautiful white. That's a color of purification. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. They showed me the white owl. I think I have a white owl painting right here, and talked about the goddess Athena, right? She's a beautiful goddess of strength and justice and truth, right? So Athena really coming to the forefront. And by the way, I'm feeling like this whole 2025 is going to be a really big rising of divine feminine consciousness. I'll go into that a little bit more in a bit too. All right, so then they showed me this deep purple color edged with gold, and it was really strong crystal energy. And when I acquired into it, they said it was the energy of garnet. All right, and I'm wearing these little garnet earrings. They were from my mother's family way back, and it is a powerful stone. I looked into garnets. One thing about garnet is that it's a very geometric stone, so there's a lot of sacred geometry in here, and I'm feeling sacred geometry that it can really support us. It often shows up as a dodecahedron, which is a 12-sided structure. Okay, and it represents the element of ether. Okay, it's a super powerful. It was actually a hidden element amongst the Greeks because it is so powerful, and it represents the life force, right? So huge, huge, huge life force energy really coming to the forefront here on the planet right now. It also has the 12, of course, the 12 faces of the dodecahedron correspond to the 12 signs of the zodiac, right? So very, very, very powerful. And also symbolic of oneness, okay? And then the garnet also shows up as a cube, which is a beautiful representation of the element of earth, right? And our physical being, our physical reality. And yeah, so here's the message here. Something stirs beneath the earth. A deeply buried consciousness is beginning to awaken. Once roused, it cannot be lulled back to sleep. And is the color of garnets, and the energy lines associated with it can be traced by deposits of the stone. It's an energy that's a positive energy in service to life. And it's also, I'm told, a stabilizing power. Okay, so it's connected to the stabilizing grid in the earth, and it will help to anchor Earth back into unity within certain galactic influences. So what's happening on the earth right now is not just here on the earth, it's very, very much galactic and even cosmic significance. And a lot of it's about freedom, right? And the process of awakening and the process of reaching enlightenment or reaching for enlightenment, okay? Um, so also here it's helping Earth to anchor into, this is really important, it's helping the Earth to anchor into natural space-time healing, healing shattered time-space connections. And so we can give me an image like a broken bones healing, blood and bone helping to restore organic timelines, okay? So, and organic DNA patterning. So I feel like this is going to be a very, very important topic moving forward, is the organic and organic DNA, anything that relates to an organic process, the organic process of awakening. This is the natural process that the natural world, that when we're really hooked into the natural world and working in harmony with it, it supports the spiritual awakening process, even within ourselves as individuals and on the planet as a whole, right? To go in ways that are really in alignment with universal life force energy, okay? And so this energy that's being awakened on the earth right now is very much in alignment with that. I'm feeling like this beautiful goddess energy that's really awakening, okay? So I've been playing with this symbol here, the Unalome, which is I believe it's Buddhist or possibly Hindu. I think it's Buddhist symbol of awakening. Okay. And I'm feeling like this energy and I'm feeling all around 2025 is very much embodied by this symbol. So I wanted to just kind of show you this because there's different variations of this symbol, but this is the one that has really always called to me. And as I've been learning about the process of the physiological and energetic process of Kundalini awakening, there's definite phases and stages of a Kundalini awakening, and that is what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling very strongly on the earth. We're reaching a certain phase of awakening, as well as it's going to affect every single human being and where we are on our journey. Okay, so just to take a look at this symbol here, we start down here with the spiral, and what I see it as when the Kundalini, before she awakens, right? Kundalini is a power. She's like the Holy Spirit. It's the life force power that's within every being, right? And in humans, it's said that she coils, it's asleep around the root chakra, right, until she's aroused or awoken, all right. And so to me, this part of the symbol represents the time that we spend, the lifetimes that we spend while she's still wrapped around there, right? Well, we're learning a lot of what it means to be human at a more basic earthly level, right? At a certain point, something may trigger the Kundalini to awaken, right? And she um, then rises up out of that root chakra area. And what she wants to do is go all the way up to the top of the head, at the Bindu point, and reunite with spirit, right? So it's the divine feminine. She wants to reunite with the Shiva energy, the divine masculine, or you can see it as the Holy Spirit wanting to reunite with the Father. Either way, however you want to see it, that's basically the process. Okay, so she awakens, and then she has to go through all the chakras, right? And there's various ways that she can go. And so this is where what I see it as, here's where we often will have our initial spiritual awakening, right? When we realize there's more to life than just the 3D, and we start to awaken to all this wonderful spiritual stuff happening around us, all right? And sometimes it can feel like being lost in the woods, or, sometimes two steps forward, one step back, that kind of thing, the dark nights of the soul, all sorts of stuff can happen, right? And then, so we're seeking, seeking, seeking. And then at some point, there's a shift, right? We reach a certain point, and it's called Makara point. It happens up here, and things start to even out, okay? There can be a lot of purification that happens there too. But we become a little bit more focused and aware of, where it is we're going, we're wanting to really unite with the one. And then way up here, when Kundalini reaches this top portion, the Bindu point, then we have flashes of enlightenment, right? Feelings of oneness. And then the dots represent that we're in a real spiritualizing process from there on. And also that enlightenment, it doesn't always come all at once. We may have little flashes of it. Okay, so the reason I'm going over this right now is that I'm feeling like on the planet right now, it feels very much to me like the planet as a whole has reached one of these points. I'm kind of suspecting, I'm not even sure which one. I'm thinking it's maybe this Makara point. Sort of feeling like the last age, right? Around the time of the Buddha and the Christ, those great avatars coming to Earth, that probably would have been more the spiritual awakening point down here. So what I'm feeling like is that we've reached more of a point of a greater awakening, and also remembering that all often comes with a lot of purification, right? Things just kind of breaking loose. When a person reaches that point, anything that's not supporting their truth and their path is going to start falling away. So even though this looks a lot more wandering, sometimes this point to here can be a lot of like the soul stuff as well, and purification, right? So that's what I'm feeling is happening right now. And the basic kind of trends that I'm seeing at this time. Purification is huge. I'm hearing people talking about kind of starting to set boundaries in relationships and whatever the aftermath of that is. You know, however the purification shows up for you, if you're noticing things like, you know, emotional releases, or for me, it's been in my home. Um, we had one project that was supposed to be just a simple drywall project and has turned into like this huge wiring and fixing trusses and all this stuff. And then another project that was a simple little drip, and it has turned into a huge project where kitchen and bathroom sinks are being replaced and all this stuff, right? I feel like it's like this real kind of a symbolic of some of the stuff that's happening right now. Old infrastructure coming down, old ways of being coming down. There may be organizations that have really been instrumental in the world up until now, maybe starting to break apart. It's a big cleanse, right? And so the encouragement is to whatever you see out there in the world, you know, just breathe through it and recognize that, you know, when things change, a lot of stuff has to be swept away. And sometimes, you know, when we get rid of stuff, sometimes we have to take it down to a clean slate, even removing some stuff that was actually functioning well. All right, so the encouragement again is to just trust that everything's going to be all right in the end, that we're moving through this crazy time, and we're moving together through it, right? And so individually, what I'm feeling is there's going to be a lot of people that are coming out of, you know, that will have a Kundalini awakening and start moving into a more spiritual, deeper spiritual awareness of what's going on. So I'm feeling like we may see a lot of people breaking out into this area here. We may see a lot of us who've been just sort of kind of on the path, but um, not really reaching that point of focus yet. Things might start to really focus for you, or you might start to get a super clarity about what you're here for, or you know, your soul mission, that kind of thing. And then for others, we may be starting to move into greater feelings of oneness, right? Those flashes of enlightenment happening even way down here on the planet. I kind of have the feeling, well, some of the animals may even start uh, evolving spiritually in ways that are going to maybe help them be geared up for a little bit more human-like existence. So that's just conjecture on my part, but since everything else is happening, feels like it could happen. All right, so what does this look like for us? I think for a lot of people, again, it's purification happening, just things falling apart, things falling away, or the very clear decision, like, you know, I need to focus on this and I need to really get my life in gear, okay, so that I can step forward into what I'm meant to do. So if you are feeling like 2025 is really calling you to step up and step out and be seen and heard and visible, and be more active in your life purpose, you are completely not alone. It is completely in alignment with what's happening. And again, remember, this is a bringing into physical reality of all the kind of spiritual impulses that have been working on the earth, right? Which is why we're going to see such immense changes. Okay, let's do a little reading here to support our energy here in 2025. And I'm going to really dedicate this reading to our spiritual purpose, okay? And to those of us who are feeling very called to step fully into our purpose, this reading is for you. If you want a more general reading for the energies of 2025, just a collective reading, we did an amazing one in my Lightworkers Cafe group earlier this month. And if you join that, you'll be sent the link that you can review that. That was an amazing reading, and it was all 12 months that we went through, and it was a group effort, so there was a lot of power in that reading. But this one, we're going to focus on soul purpose and supporting the soul purpose in 2025, which is a big theme I'm hearing right now. A lot of people feeling called to step forth into their soul purpose, and a lot of people feeling kind of some trepidation around that too, which is normal, right? Okay, so the first card here is coming up in reverse. And these, by the way, are my spirit animal awareness cards. I'll put the link to purchase these down below. But I'm going to, do a four directions reading, and this first card is the direction of east, okay? And that would symbolize um, new beginnings, right? The element of air, the mind, right? The mental body happening. And so what I'm seeing here is a hawk is coming in reverse. So one thing, the hawk is a very potent spiritual symbol, right? Remember Horus shows up as the hawk. He's this, the god Horus. And vision is a big, big, big symbolic meaning of the hawk, as well as decisive action, right? Because a hawk will really use its eyes and look for its prey and then very quickly go get its prey. Showing up here in the mental, in reverse, I'm seeing that, the shadow side can be ruthlessness sometimes, right? Or arrogance, pride. All right, so it's going to be really, really important this year for every one of us to be as truthful as we can, to be as honest as we can with ourselves, and as compassionate, right? With everybody around us, recognizing that each one of us is on this spiritual journey, right? A compassion doesn't mean that you let somebody walk all over you, but it does mean that, just kind of letting go and giving to spirit, giving to God, whatever it is that bothers you about something, right? And letting go of um, judgment, like the harsh judgment that we have, that can be part, because Hawk's a very divine masculine, right? And I may have mentioned already that there feels like there's this big goddess energy coming up. Well, the goddess energy, the divine feminine, cannot do her creating work, cannot do her nurturing work so well without that divine masculine. The two work in harmony, right? This may not be very politically correct amongst certain circles, but goddess and God go hand in hand. It's not just one or the other, all right? And so if we want that divine feminine to really be able to flourish, right, it is really helpful to have a very strong divine masculine who is able to come and create a framework for her and have focus and direction, all right? So I'd say this is really encouraging all of us to get very, very clear on what's ours and what's not. Like, what's my dharma? What am I here to do? Versus somebody else's. Let other people do what other people are here to do and focus on our own thing, as well as focusing on what it is that we're really wanting to create and bring into the world, focusing on that rather than focusing on everything that's wrong with it, okay? So that's the biggest thing I'm getting with this. And by the way, I have an event coming up next Saturday that is the Jumpstart Soul Purpose Activation workshop. And it's by donation, and that is one of the things that we're really going to do is work on developing that divine focus. Okay, and supporting that aspect of ourselves so that we can really be vessels for this beautiful divine feminine energy. Whether you're, have a masculine feminine body or however you identify, it doesn't matter. We all work with these energies. All right. So I put Hawk right side up to remind us that we want to stay focused, stay in our lane, right? And focus on the light. Focus on the light mentally. It's really, really easy, especially when things start falling apart, right? For us to start blaming and sending a lot of dark thoughts in places. We want to really, if you can't think positively about something or somebody, send it to spirit, send it to the angels, and then focus on what you can focus on with light. All right, so the second one that I'm pulling is the South card, right? And this is also the element of fire. Okay, this is air, this is fire, and also the spiritual body, okay? The this one that's also coming up in reverse, and it is cow, right? So cow always is a card that reminds me of the great mother, right? The divine feminine. Many aspects of Hinduism, the cow is considered sacred, and because she's this giver of milk, she's very solid and stable, and she just holds space and she nurtures, and the milk flows from her, and so she's beautiful. Beautiful symbol here to come up is the spiritual, and I think it's so fitting that where I'm feeling all this divine feminine coming up in the spirit, here comes cow, and but she is showing up as reverse. Okay, so let's look at the shadow side of cow. Stubborn, opinionated, unyielding. Okay, so you know how cattle can just sort of plant their feet. But if you ever feel stuck this year, right? Where am I being too rigid or not yielding to spirit, right? Or being very stubborn and opinionated, it's got to be my way or the highway, or also judging. It's easy to only see things in terms of black and white, okay? Like the Holstein cow, black and white, right? Where sometimes it's important to step back and take the bigger picture and see where we can maybe focus on the light in the situation instead of condemning everything that's happening. All right, so what I'm going to do is turn cow again right side up, okay, so that we can focus on the very, very positive aspects of this spirit ally, especially when it pertains to the divine creation and really tapping into our divine goddess energy. The stability is a big one, okay, because when feminine energy, especially when the upsetting things are happening, right? It's easy to get very nervous and anxious, right? And so cow teaches us that we can be in our divine feminine and have this quiet strength and power and like everything's all right. Okay, so really focusing on that aspect of spirit and that aspect of divine mother, like being embodied in this very strong and powerful and calm and peaceful creature. I think that's a very helpful thing. Okay, this is, oh, okay, so this, what I'm using here is multiple decks here of my same deck, because I just had that here. And knowing that the possibility was that there might be a card that might show up more than once. And so we have here cow again showing up here in the West. And that's representing the emotional body, right? The emotions. I didn't even see if this one came up right side, but I'm feeling here, especially with all this divine feminine energy, the connection between the emotions and the spiritual vibration that we hold. I feel like that's why cow's coming up twice here, because she's really wanting to underscore how important it is to have, to be cultivating the higher emotions and to be holding space for our emotional body in a way that we can start to access deeper states of peace, right? We can do that a lot of times through meditation or some of the mind-body practices. Yoga, breath work can really help us to take control over the emotions. Now, control over the emotions doesn't mean that we're suppressing them, okay? That doesn't help. All that does is put all that stuff underneath where it's going to erupt, right? If we really want to, be like the cow in her divine glory, right? We work on ourselves to have that state of peace within us, and so many practices and so many traditions to help us do that. So the encouragement is, especially if you are feeling anxiety or fear or anger or any of those emotions, recognize first of all that those emotions are helpful. That when something triggers us, it helps us to recognize, well, something needs balancing there, right? And then once we have acknowledged those emotions, then we can start working on, okay, how can I work with my body, work with my mind, work with my emotional body, and learn to bring myself to a greater state of peace so that I can work through this, whatever it is, um, in a way that's going to be productive and helpful. All right. And then the last one here is the north, the element of earth. Okay. And that is a spider. I always think of the north as like our wise teacher, or it can also be the warrior. All right. Um, Again, a very, very strongly feminine image here. Spider has a lot of feminine energy in it, and I'm really happy to see that Spider showed up as an upright card, right? Because the shadow side of the Spider can be all the sticky, gaslighting, narcissistic, right? That's the shadow side of Spider. But here we're going to focus on the light side of Spider, okay? Spider as being this whole web of life, right? How everything is connected. It's oneness, right? It's showing us oneness. And it's also this creatrix, right? This creator being and creating exquisite beauty, right? Through the connections. And interesting that she's showing up in the north, which in the system I'm using is the element of earth. That is manifesting, it's bringing things into the physical, right? So looking at, how can we work with our physical location, our relationships, especially local ones. I'm feeling a lot of kind of local energy and building things locally, building networks, building coalitions, right? Coming together in ways that combines our energy in ways that are so much more than the sum of its parts. And that's this Aquarian energy that we're really moving into, and I'm so thankful for Spider for showing up for this. It's also strategic wealth attraction, right? Letting things come to you. And so being open to opportunities, being open to, cross connections and interfertilization of all sorts of ideas and groups and individuals. So some of us, it may be actually meeting our little twin flame and um, possibly starting a family potentially, right? Bringing that into reality. All right, so we're going to pull one more card, and this is going to be the heart card here, and just tying it all together. And I'm actually going to pull an angel card for this one. It's my favorite thing to do um, for the overarching card. And we're going to pull Waterfall of Divine Love. This is the blessing card right here in the heart. And so I feel like that really sums it up. If we can just focus on the divine love that is here for us, really feel it, right? Feel into that never ending, always present waterfall of divine love that is here for us at every moment. All we have to do is open ourselves, look up, open your heart and your mind, and it's there. And to receive that, to focus on that above and beyond anything else, that's going to help all of us to really come through this period of time in a way that is healthy and productive and blessed. right? So again, I invite you to attend Jumpstart, which is my soul purpose activation workshop, and that is happening on Saturday, January 4th at 2 p.m. Eastern. We are going to really focus on getting very crystal clear on our purpose and on some techniques and energetic activations that will help us, each of us who attends, to really stay in that high vibration this year and to step into manifesting what we're here to do. All right. The sign up to that is down below. Again, it's donation based. And regardless, have a wonderful new year. And remember, you were born to be free.